Yo and hello everybody, Mike here. That's Ty. This show is on the fly with Mike and Ty. What's up, Ty?
What's up, man? How are you?
Happy March.
Yeah, is this our first show in March? It is. 28th last week. Yeah. It was great. It was different.
It does. It feels so much better, and it's freezing here. Like it was nice over the weekend and it's freezing now. But hey, spring is coming. Baseball is not coming anytime soon. If you remember our last episode, we asked you guys to put down comments about when you think the Major League Baseball season is going to start. It was a wide range of outcome. We'll see. We're going to do it one more week, and we'll kind of see,
who's close.
We'll close it next week. So, but yeah.
Well, I think we should probably close it today because eventually they're going to announce the beginning of the season, right?
That's a good point. And if you didn't watch our episode last week, then that's on you, not us, right?
It's on you. Exactly.
All right. Close.
Brother, you went to a card show, right? Is there a big show this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend, Dallas Card Show again. They're doing those every 2 months. Yep. 600 plus tables. It just feels like it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I assume you didn't watch any of my recap videos from those.
I didn't have a chance to, no, but I will.
I interviewed David Mantle, Mickey Mantle's son.
Nice.
Talked to him about the hobby and just cards, and it's a card channel. So, and then I picked up one of his dad's cards.
Let's see. What'd you get?
I got a 52 Bowman.
Oh, shoot.
And a PSA 3.
What about your $1,000 limit there? I thought we had a gentleman's agreement with the wife.
Called the wife, asked for permission. And those of you that think it's lame to have to call your wife to ask for permission, sorry, I did. Usually I don't, but I did in this case.
Well, you probably wouldn't have if you wouldn't have gone into it with $1,000 limit, you probably wouldn't have dealt with it. But that was a deal you made going into it, right?
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy, man. It's a great card. Jeez.
Yeah, I got that. And then I got little Griffey Jr. 89 Upper Deck autograph. Just a few things. I got a bunch more. You can go check all that out on Baseball Collector if you want to go see what else I got. The interview with David Mantle, all that kind of stuff. Very interesting conversation. But
I'll check it out. Yeah, that's cool.
So super packed. And I've heard this about the Philly show also was going on this weekend, and 2 huge shows packed at the Philly show as well. And what I saw in Dallas is something you and I have talked about before that I think is going to become even more and more prevalent in the hobby this year is guys selling like crazy. Like selling at the show, not wanting to sell on eBay, not wanting to sell somewhere else where they're going to get, basically it's a tax implication, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get busted,
Yeah.
Or get a tax bill. So I don't know.
What made you think it was different this time around? What anecdotal evidence do you have to point to outside of you just seeing lots of activity?
Well, that should be enough anecdotal activity.
I mean, is that what you saw? Was just activity, or like did you hear dealers saying, "Yeah, this is like we're saving stuff that we normally would have sold online, and we're selling it here"?
No. I'm talking about Pelican case dudes coming up trying to sell their cards that way.
Oh,
versus
gotcha.
trading.
Okay.
Just kind of your random flipper dude. And they always do that. I'm not saying that doesn't happen all the time, but it just felt like there was just more of that instead of trying to trade and stuff. People
are you playing Minesweeper or something? Looks like you're clicking around playing some.
No, I'm trying to pull up. I'm trying to share my screen because I have an idea that I think would be hilarious at the National. And so I'm gonna get one of these. You can buy these online. I'm gonna get one of these and go around and pretend like I'm an
IRS
IRS
agent.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm Agent Smith, and yeah, I was talking about this with my buddy Ed Wesker Griff, and we were saying how like the flipper dudes would just crap themselves, right? If you walked up and said, "Do you have a 10? Are you going to be issuing this gentleman a 1099? You know, do you have his tax information?" I mean, how funny would that be?
Oh, that'd be hilarious. That would be. I would love to have a camera on you, or just walk behind you at a distance and just get people's reactions. That to me is almost probably worth doing it.
Yeah, I mean, and you just do it for like an hour, and of course, at the end, you tell them you're not really that we're doing it just for fun, but oh my gosh, I bet you could get some. It'd be like America's Funniest Home Videos for cards, right? Or what's that? We could be punked for cards.
Yeah. Exactly. You're on candid camera. That would be more fun than our street video in Vegas. That was fun.
No doubt.
But like punking people with the IRS badge would be really fun.
How and we would get you could get both the dealer and the seller, right? The dealer's got to, yeah, you got both sides of that. It's hilarious. It would be hilarious.
That would be. All right. So you saw lots of activity, people just trying to sell. And I would argue probably not even just because of tax stuff, but because people were trying to just get out from under some investments they made as fast as possible at these big shows.
I talked to a dealer. I was trying to do a deal for another 52 Bowman, a 4. I got a PSA 3 ultimately, but I asked him, like his price was about $1,000 under comps. And I said, what, why? And he said, well, I got all my money tied up in this other stuff. I need to get liquid. I need some cash. Not a one of a kind story. I promise. Right. And so definitely not unique, but had a great time at that show. Did you do anything fun this week? Did you go to a card show this weekend, or what else? What did you do?
No, we skied twice, Saturday and Sunday. We were skiing as a family. 39 degrees up on the mountain. It was amazing. Oh my gosh.
T-shirt
all 8 of us up there skiing. Almost. I mean, yeah, you're unzipping your coat and you're just enjoying your day.
I remember in my Colorado days when I was in college, we would ski in T-shirts and ski pants, when it was in March, that late winter, when it was warm, relatively warm on the mountain.
Yeah.
Those were fun days because it was
for sure.
It was nice.
Yeah.
So
what else did you notice at the show? I'm curious. Is there anything else that stood out to you? I mean, this is the first one this quarter.
Yeah. Dallas show was, it's always very modern heavy. There's it's kind of the new show on the block. And I talked to I interviewed Ryan Card Collector 2 for my Friday recap, or in my Friday recap. And he just loves Dallas because there's just so much going on, and there's so many bargain bins, and he just loves sifting through that stuff. Not a ton of vintage. So for me, there's probably 5 or 6 tables that are more vintage centric. You could find vintage scattered throughout, but the reality was it's not like the National or a lot of East Coast shows where there's old time dealers that have had vintage forever kind of thing. It's a lot of the newer guys that are in the Dallas show setting up. So Zions and Lucas and Treys and soccer cards and modern, Justin Herberts and Burrow out the yin yang. I mean, just all that kind of stuff is everywhere. Acuna, Soto, Tatis. So
modern.
Lots of modern.
Okay.
Not much Wander Franco, ironically. I actually
all being authenticated right now.
Right. They're all at PSA or SGC or wherever they might be.
They're being authenticated through eBay.
Ah, well, we'll get to that. We're going to have a talk about that. And today might be a slightly longer episode, guys. So, but I promise you'll want to stick around for all of it because we got some good topics. One other quick topic I want to go over is I know we have discussed last week a little bit about the Tops/Fanatics summit that they had recently, right? And there were some points that came out of it that I'm kind of hearing about now that I wanted to just get your take on. I'm going to throw out a topic slash, issue that they brought up, and I want to see what your reaction is. Okay. I haven't told you what these, he doesn't know what these are, guys. So I haven't told him. I want his gut reaction, his guttural reaction.
Guttural.
They announced that they have 13 2021 products that have still yet to be released. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's the same with Panini. Panini's it's insanity right now with all the unreleased stuff. It's sad that we're getting to the point where the end of the season is hitting and more than half of products from that season aren't even being released.
Yeah, baseball, the one I think that it's not necessarily sport specific, but baseball, I know 2021 Bowman Heritage has not been released.
Yeah.
And we're in March of 2022.
Yeah.
It's like, why you just scrap it? Or is it
scrap it?
I don't know. I mean, they say it's, supply chain issues, paper and getting the stuff to the printer and whatnot. I could just see them. Fanatics is so rich that they just start their own printing company and do it all in-house.
Maybe. And if truly it's a supply issue, I don't think it's a matter of like having enough money to buy stuff. I think it's just truly not being able to get stuff.
Yeah.
My question would be, why not print like, I don't know, 80% less Top Series 1 so you can have enough printing supplies for the other products? You obviously printed enough to support a little pullback in Series 1.
Yeah.
My gosh.
How are Series 1 prices holding up? Are they really?
I mean, what'd you expect? Everyone knew that was going to happen. Typical.
Well, that's what a normal Series 1 release is like.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Which means could we be getting back to normal? I don't know. Okay. Josh Luber said he would like to see 10 times the number of breakers in the hobby. What's your reaction to
that? My reaction to that is you can't say in the same breath we can't print product, but now we want to have 10x more breakers like that. Those don't like jive together, if you ask me. And we want to take care of the card shops. Like, we have to decide how we're going to actually feed this hobby. And if you have no product to feed anybody, then it doesn't even matter what you want. Like, what's the solution to the printing problem first off? And then let's talk about what's next.
Right.
Yeah. Totally if I'm a big breaker now, I hear that, I'm thinking, gosh darn, I'm going to get allocated out of the, butt crack on this one. They're going to start, if they're going to add that many more breakers and like open the floodgates for new, kind of new blood, man, those people are going to get screwed with allocations.
I just don't think there's enough customers to fill up 10x breakers.
Well, I think we're going to take from these guys to feed these guys. So that doesn't necessarily mean you need more customers, but it doesn't work that way, right? A good breaker that wants to be a good breaker can be a good breaker right now. It's not like there's enough barriers of entry for him to like to not be a breaker.
Right.
There's just not enough people to do like that can actually do a good job of that. I really believe that.
Good point.
So you saying, hey, I want to have 10x more breakers. Okay. Doesn't mean they can actually do a good job of it.
Good point. Last one, Project 100 was announced. A new card art, series. Are you excited? Would you be excited about that?
That's just not my jam. No.
I mean, Project 70 was really cool. Or Project 2020, I should say, was cool for a while. Then, of course, the Shore Griffey killed that. And then Project 70 felt like, wait a second, this is too much too soon, too quick on the heels. And then now we're just doing another one. I mean, it just feels like we're going to do these art card projects in perpetuity, which is the fatigue on that's already super high. So
yeah, I agree. I do like that it supports artists and it allows them to monetize their creativity. Like that to me makes it neat. But yeah, it's just not. I think it's, you said it. It's fatigue, man. I'm just tired of it. You can only draw something so many different ways before it's like, I've seen that type of art before. Like, I'm just tired of it.
Yeah. Totally.
Maybe we're in the minority.
Right. I know you want to talk about this subject, so why don't you run with the eBay issues that you're having or seeing?
Okay, so for those that don't know, you and I talked about this about a month ago, whenever the news came out about the eBay authentication guarantee. And I think, gosh, even when we talked about it, the cutoff was 750.
Yep.
So any raw card over 750 you sell has to be sent through the eBay authentication process.
Yep.
That, I mean, within a week or two got lowered to 500. And I think it's still 500, but it's going to be 250 really soon. We knew this was going to happen because CGC, CSG, I don't think they realized what they were signing up for. And we were concerned we were to see just them not taking serious people's cards. And also as sellers, like if something's not authenticated, even though we know it's real and it gets sent back to us and the sale's canceled and the card sent back, like the risk involved in all this. Well, here we are a month later and there's no shortage of like legitimate frustration across sellers and buyers. I'm going to show you a quick video and then I'll show you some screenshots. So check this out and I'll link this full video in the show notes.
Get it here. Gosh, I hope it's not damaged at all. So, pretty good packaging. Look at that. eBay Authenticity Guarantee. Let's pull this out. So it's, like I saw in other videos, it's based on magnet. So, your collection is now upgraded. Collect, trade, repeat. So I hope you receive it in perfect condition. Oh. Authentic without a doubt. The search is over for now. Enjoy your trading card. Thank you to eBay. So, completely slipped out of the... Oh man.
So this was a guy, little context. This was a guy that is in the Philippines who sold, who bought a card and it got authenticated to him. Precious metal gem, Marvel card, legitimate card. And he was talking as he was doing, I cut a lot of that out. He was talking about how all the American transactions that he had seen where the card had slipped out. And he's like, haha, not going to happen international, right? They're going to make sure as this thing ships overseas that it doesn't get, slip out and get damaged. As he opens it up, he's like, bleep, bleep, bleep. Are you kidding me? It slipped out. And I mean, and it's just happening all over. Cards slipping out. That one, authenticated, popping out of that. Look at this one, halfway out the case. Horror stories. This one we talked about before of the, a card this guy pulls out of a pack, sends in, and eBay's not authenticating it, because it doesn't line up with a description in their title. This to me is exactly what we do not need in the hobby right now. Exactly what we don't need. And I'm irritated as a seller that we have to now deal with this crap and deal with somebody else touching, manipulating, and there's zero accountability. I haven't heard of anybody say what eBay is doing to take care of them shipping a card back that slips out and potentially gets damaged. Like that, this is unacceptable if you ask me. And I'm so disappointed that the largest marketplace in the world for selling cards is making us all susceptible to this crap. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I think it's horrible, and if they do drop it to $250, I mean, I don't buy tons of cards over $250, but you know, several a year, right? And I'm not excited about the prospect of a nice vintage card. I guess if it's in a slab, it won't matter. I won't be buying raw cards. So is that right? They don't do it on slabs
yet. They will be. That's coming soon, they say.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'm not worried about a slab getting damaged or slipping out of a holder thing because it's already protected. I guess that may drive more people to buy higher end stuff already slabbed up too, right? Could that enhance the graded card market?
I mean, I guess maybe that will, maybe push sellers to want to grade their cards more, right? So they can avoid this process when they're selling raw cards. But there has to be an opt out on this. Like there just has to be. They cannot keep like forcing people to do something when this is the type of QC that we see on the back end. Like I don't want to sell a card and know that it potentially could be damaged by somebody else in the process. That even if eBay takes care of them and I get feedback for it, like that's just frustrating to me. And I just think I put on Twitter a couple days ago, I think it's 6 months before eBay scraps this entire thing. Because this is not the sneaker market. This is a different market than the sneaker market. It's not going to work the same.
Yeah, I mean, especially if the horror stories continue, which you undoubtedly expect them to. There's no reason why they would just stop, right? They're going to keep doing things because who knows who's giving them feedback? Probably not a lot of people are giving them feedback on how it's working. It'll be interesting to see if by the national, if they're still doing it. What do you say, over under that they're still doing it by the national?
I say that they are not doing it by the national. That's my prediction.
Okay,
yeah.
that's
And the
only
thing is
4 months away, 5 months away.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. It's only 4 months. Like it's not like we shouldn't completely blame eBay here. This is also a little bit, CGC, CSG's fault, right? I mean, you are a card grading company. You authenticate like for a living. That's what you do at your company. You should not be sending off cards that are falling out of top loaders.
Actually, they're in card savers also, like, right? If they're in a card saver, that shouldn't be slipping out at all, period.
Either the card savers are crap or they're not even putting them in the card savers completely.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Like they're not even sticking them in all the way to the card saver. Surely they're not making that type of mistake for, especially for cards like a precious metal gem Marvel card. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess any card, it's a threshold of price. So they're all very expensive cards. And the fact that they're slipping out is just stupid. It's one thing to not authenticate, maybe see something that makes you frustrated and you're like, I'm not going to authenticate this, or it doesn't line up with someone's title. And even that, I feel like if they're going to start judging based on like semantics of titles, then we're opening up a whole new can of worms that the hobby and especially eBay does not need. I don't think it furthers their business model any whatsoever. Okay, I'm done with my rant. Sorry. I'm
what they should do? What would you think about this? About eBay coming up with parsing off a database of all the cards, right? And you have to use a pre-filled, like if you're selling a 2018 Topps Chrome Ronald Acuna, you have to go, you start typing it in and it goes and finds the card and it uses you say, is it a refractor or no? It'll have one choice as a refractor, one choice as a base, and you have to choose that. And then you choose if it's graded or not and what grade. And you can't put in anything else into your title. You can't embellish your title. It'll be a standard listing for a certain card.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. They've probably already thrown that around. I think the risk you run there is then the only way you differentiate people's listings is by the amount they pay on a promoted listing percentage, how much they want to promote that listing to sell. And this is getting really into the nitty gritty of a sales, like the sales side of it. Or like you're going to see 150,000 listings of the Wander Franco, all with the exact same title. What do you do at that point? Like the sellers would leave by the droves because you're creating robot salesmen. I think you would lose a lot of that interest.
Yeah, but let's say you have a 2022 Wander Franco base card, second year, which I call it the second year. What are you going to put in the title that can differentiate yourself anyway, except for some flame emojis or some, I mean, give me a break. It's not like I have a hard, when I see crap in a title that, super great or some, some crap. I just need to know the name of the card, what year, what's the card number, who's this player. That's it. I don't need all the extra crap sellers put in their titles. And in fact, it annoys me. And because my searches are so limited anyway, I try to use as few words as possible to find the cards I'm looking for. So I don't think there's any need for embellishment in a title or anything else other than the basic info about the card. And yes, they would all look the same. Great. I'm going to go sort by cheapest, and there you go. I do that anyway, quite frankly. If I'm looking for Mickey Mantle PSA card, 1965 tops, that's my search, right? PSA. And I'm going to sort by the cheapest, and I'm going to find one that I like. I'm not looking for the one that has the flaming smiley emojis or whatever, and looks better than it is, looks better than the grade or any of that stuff that people embellish listings with.
You would live perfectly in that Lego world where they're all doing the same thing. Everything is awesome. You put your pants on the same way, and you just kind of like, you grab your bucket for the day, and that's Mike Moynihan. No, I think that, like, okay, I get it. I get what you're saying, but the variety in people's subjective titles, of course, take the crap out. Like, everything's a 1 of 1. Get that stuff out of here. But hey, this looks really well centered, or hey, there's a ding up here, or sharp edges, or just graded. I think those things are great for titles, and I think they differentiate. And frankly, the second you standardize on everything, you allow crappy sellers and people that you can obviously tell don't know what they're doing. You allow them to be on the same level playing field as somebody else who knows what they're doing. And I would hate that. Because
invariably, you see it now. People calling a card a refractor that's not a refractor, or they mislabel it as a base and it actually is a refractor. Or, it's not like eBay is going to check the picture against the title and make sure that you're putting the right card of the card you're actually selling.
Well, that's just it. They will. Right. So you could have that standardized title and someone could click refractor and the picture would be different. And once they send it through authenticity, like, they're going to get flagged and sent back regardless. And some dude's going to be like, man, I wanted to do that because I bought that base card knowing it was a refractor. Come on, eBay. Give me that card back.
Yeah, there's not probably any perfect solutions out there, but I get that this is just a mess. It just feels like it's very messy. I don't know what was wrong with the system before, quite frankly. Why did we need this as a hobby? Did we need this?
Yeah. And I'm trying not to be so negative about it. That's the thing. Like, I'm trying to see the positive side of this. I need someone to tell me where the positives outweigh the negatives in this, because I don't think we needed it before. I get there's crappy sellers and fraudulent activity, but you sacrifice the well-oiled machine that was eBay selling for the 1% of transactions that I never interacted with. I never crossed paths with a fake. ever.
Yeah, me neither.
25,000 transactions, never once. So like, and now I'm susceptible to all of this because of that. Like I want none of it. It just annoys me.
You've been heard, Ty. You've been heard.
Thank you so much. Thanks for giving me the forum.
What do you got this week going on?
So I have a couple Breaker Culture episodes on the reality of selling full time on eBay. Some people have asked me what it takes, and so I'm putting a video series together, which is pretty fun. So check that out. By the way, a great interview last week that didn't get as much traction as I thought it should, but PJ from Collectible Kings. It was, if anyone didn't hear that interview, it's an hour-long interview with a guy who started a card shop, and he's got it down, man. Like he does it right. And I love his perspective on the hobby and kind of where we sit in terms of like the flow of the hobby and where things are. I thought it was just a great conversation. It's one of my favorite I've had in a while, especially from a guy that interacts with customers every single day by the truckload. So I don't know. Go listen to it. I think it's a really underrated episode.
Awesome.
Here on Bench Clear.
Well, I did not do on Golden Age of Cardboard episode last week. It's funny. I've always said this about creating content. I know people like consistency, and we've been really good about getting on the flies out every week, and there might be weeks we can't do it for whatever reason. Life happens, and I've never felt like just do an episode just because people expect you to, and you do it reasonably consistently. If you don't have an episode ready, don't do I do content when I'm ready to do content, and I am ready this week to do Golden Age of Cardboard. I am doing an interview tomorrow with baseball collector, investor, dealer, in that order. Tomorrow morning, I'm excited to talk to him. I think he's a refreshing voice in the hobby. He's been doing YouTube now for not terribly long, year and a half, maybe. Huge following, dealer, buys big collections. Like he does all kinds of cool stuff. And I'm excited to talk to him tomorrow about the vintage market. He's got a ton of knowledge about vintage. So I'll be doing that in the morning. That'll be this week's Golden Age of Cardboard episode coming out to a Bench Clear Media network near you. Probably Wednesday we'll put that out, right, Ty? Something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Thursday at the latest. And I'm probably going to take next week off because it's spring break here, and Julie and I are doing some things where I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of card stuff. So that's just part of the content creation process. I wish I was a slave to YouTube. I'm just not. I have life, and you do too. You're a busy guy.
You wish you were a slave to YouTube?
No, I bet some people wish we were. Some people wish all we thought about was how to make another great episode, but we want to make great content. It's just, we got other things going on. So, yeah. When do you want to do the drawing for the box we're going to give away from last week's episode?
Well, there's no drawing. It's whenever they have to announce the starting date, right? We can't do anything until.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the voting is you cannot put in anything. You can't. But if we have multiple winners, if multiple people pick the same date, then we will do a drawing. Right.
Correct. Yep.
Gotcha.
Hopefully by next week we have an opening day scheduled and all is good.
We shall see. Anything else, Ty? Any final thoughts?
That's it. Have a good week.
Everybody have a great week. We'll see you guys later.